Riding in wet conditions can be a really different challenge to riding in summer, and it can really help you to be a good all-round rider and can also be a lot of fun. Vision's really important in the wet weather, so stick a front mud guard on and then use some glasses or goggles. If it's really raining, I definitely prefer glasses, just they're much less likely to steam up and they're easier to clean. Staying warm is going to make you stay out for longer rides as well, or at least make it more enjoyable. So I always use a merino base layer, so they're really warm but breathable and even warm if they're wet. And then if it's like today where it's not actually raining but the trails are really wet, you can rely on something like this, just an outer shell layer. It also keeps the wind off you a little bit and should keep you nice and dry and warm. But if it's really raining, I've got proper waterproof shorts, trousers and a jacket that really does make a massive difference. Actually makes it a pleasure to ride in the rainy conditions. Now you can ride in normal riding kit, of course. It's obviously gonna be a lot cheaper, but you're probably not gonna ride as long. Keep moving. Even in basic kit, you should be able to stay warm. So give your bike a check over before you go for a ride, because any unexpected issues could kill morale and probably shorten your ride time. Mud is going to slow down your rolling speed and sometimes suddenly, especially if you're going from a hard packed bit or rocky terrain into the mud. So if you're going quite quick, make sure you get to the back of the bike, so really think about dropping your heels, just getting your weight a little bit further back, just so you don't hit it and go over the bars. Also it helps float that front tyre just a little bit. Moving your weight around on the bike becomes all the more important in the really wet conditions. So trying to match your weight equally over front and back tyre to retain good grip, go both up and down. But in really muddy conditions, you have to use steering input and your hips to try and keep your balance on top of the bike. Getting the rear wheel to drive in the mud might require a bit more weight on it, so slide back on the saddle. You're unlikely to wheelie if the rear wheel is spinning most of the time. Hopping sections can be great for trying to stay relatively dry. You can get your feet absolutely soaked by riding through puddles or blasting through streams, so I like to hop over them to try and keep them dry. It can be sketchy trying to hop the whole thing, so a manual might be the better way, as long as it isn't too deep and you drop the back wheel into a big hole. Now I'm no geologist, but some rocks get super slippy in the wet and some don't, they stay quite grippy. But I don't like to take my chances. On wet rocks, I'll try not to brake too much and don't make any dramatic changes of line. Riding in the wet can be a constant battle of trying to find the grip. So keep your head up, look down the trail and actually look for where that grip might be. So sometimes look for hard packed sections or some bits that are sheltered underneath the tree, rock sections, or even trying to ride through the bottom of streams where the mud can't settle. Sometimes that'll give you the grip you need to clear a section. Less grip means you'll need to slow down earlier. Steep sections are going to get harder, so make sure you're moving back and entering the section slow and in control. Be less aggressive in corners. You need to smooth out your cornering lines, make sure your inputs into the bike are more subtle. Lean the bike less, brake more smoothly and earlier, so you aren't dragging them as much in the turns. Braking isn't going to be as effective, especially if it's really wet, and disc brakes might need a rotation or two just to burn off that water, but they can work almost just as powerfully in the wet when they're dry. So your brakes might work really well, but you're just not going to have as much grip. It's also worth mentioning that you've got to try and be a good trail citizen when the trails are really wet. So think about where you're going to ride, try and ride those trails that you know stand up to the bad weather. Don't try and go around puddles and widen the trail, that's really going to ruin it. And even on really steep 4-line trails, try not to skid down them or tear them up, because that's where water's going to get in there and really cause some trouble. If you want to see a couple more wet winter riding videos, click over there for my bike setup tips, click over there for Doddy's maintenance tips on how to look after your bike in the worst conditions. Hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up if you like riding all year round.